Good morning and welcome to Follow the Reader. My name is Karen Leahy and I'm the Digital Services Librarian at the South Kingston Public Library. Today I'm joined by Marc Parlange, the University President at the University of Rhode Island. How are you today?
Good, good. Pleased to be here with you.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Happy New
How
Year.
are things going over at the University of Rhode Island?
Great, great. Last night, our men and women's basketball teams both won. So we're all very happy here this morning. Yeah.
Good. So let's jump in. What are you reading right now?
So I've almost finished, but the book that I'm actually reading is entitled The University of Rhode Island, and it's really interesting. It's a history of our land grant state university. We are the research flagship university, and it was really interesting for me because it really follows the previous presidents and what they went through and what they were thinking about and what they were working on. And the funny thing is, if I go back 100 years to President Edwards, and we all know Edwards Hall, but I feel like you could replace Edwards and put Parlange, and I'm doing all the same sorts of things that he was having to do and address. I mean, obviously different times, but it's anyway, that's the book I'm reading. Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a favorite book you've read recently?
Well, I would rate that very high. There's another book that I got for Christmas, or was given for Christmas, and it's about running and how we run. And it's about as you get older, like me, your running style, you slow down. And so I've always been thinking about how do I pick up the pace? So it's a lot about training methods and how I might work out and train a little faster. But I am racing, time. As you get older, you definitely get slower. So
Great. Now, are you the type of person who uses a real bookmark? Do you use a found piece of paper? How do you keep your place?
So I use the book cover and I stick it in, and I know that you're not supposed to do that, but I'm lazy and I do that. If something I do like though, when you go to the bookstore, and we are lucky we have a nice bookstore down the road, and we. I guess it's South Kingston. I forgot the name of the bookstore at the mall, but they're very
Wakefield
helpful.
Books. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're great, and we go there and buy books. And then I do have some favorite books that I think everybody should read. So I bought multiple copies there. But usually when you buy the books, they give you bookmarks,
Right.
and then for a little while I will use them. Which does remind me, so there's one great book I can recommend to all listeners.
Sure.
They haven't read it yet. It's just entitled Legacy, and it's about the New Zealand rugby team. They're called the All Blacks, and they are just a great team. They have great culture in this relatively small distant country, and then they go out and they proceed to win all their rugby games against everybody in France and England and Ireland and so forth, South Africa. And so they're just a great rugby team. And there's a lot there about teamwork and leadership and a lot of the things that as president you have to think about.
Yeah.
But you can learn a lot from that book. And maybe I'll make one more plug. There's a book, Dave Cicilline came out with a book, and so his book, I'll have to admit, we have multiple copies, have given them out as well for people to read.
Great. Do you have a favorite place to read when you're reading for just yourself?
Yeah, I read in bed. I like to read before going to sleep. So it's and so Maybe it's not the best for your back or whatever, but I like to read on my side. So, and propped up on one arm and then just read that way.
Yeah. Now, what do you love about libraries?
So it's very interesting. My parents had some strange ideas when we were growing up, and so we never had a television.
Okay.
And nowadays, maybe that's not so exciting because everybody has computers. But when I was growing up, there sure wasn't the internet or
Right.
access to personal computers. But TV was very important in those days. And growing up without television meant that the library was my source of all books, and we would go every week with my parents, and we would come back with a pile of books, and then I would just so I learned how to read actually very, very, very quickly, and it was really great practice later on in life when you do the GRE exams where you have to read and
Yeah.
understand. And I could ace those exams
Right.
just being able to read. But I think libraries just bringing the breadth and the access to books that you may never have thought about reading, and learn about different parts of the world, learn about different ways that people look at the world. So I've always loved libraries, and over the years I've been at maybe 6 different universities. I've always gotten to know the librarian very well at the
Yeah.
university. They've become some of my very best friends, and I've maintained those friendships over the years.
Yeah. Now, do you have any special memory of a certain library you'd like to share with us?
Well, way, way, way back, I when I was in elementary school, my father was a professor at Yale University, and the Hamden Public Library was our neighborhood
Yeah.
library, and that was always just a special place that had just it seemed like infinite collection of books. When I look back, it was probably a fairly small library. That was very special. And then for a while in the summers, we built a little cabin, my parents up in Wilmington, Vermont, and the Wilmington, Vermont Public Library was really great. And that also I liked it. It just had a different set of books, and it was just so much fun
Yeah.
to get those books and read in the summer.
Great. Well, those are all the questions I have for you today. Do you have anybody else you'd like to nominate to be on Follow the Reader?
Oh, well, how about our new brand new provost, Barbara Wolf,
Okay.
Professor Barbara Wolf. She was previously the dean of the College of Nursing. She's done a great job, and I would strongly recommend Barbara Wolf.
Okay, great. I'll contact her. So thank you so much for being on today. That is all for Follow the Reader. We'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you.